as a diabetic, what kind of foods should you eat? If you get your advice from the dietitian, they might tell you to eat lots of healthy whole grains and fruits and vegetables. But if you try that approach, you might notice that every time you eat those breads, every time you eat those fruits, every time you eat some of those vegetables like the potatoes and all that, your blood sugar spikes like crazy. It goes way too high and you have to take a lot of insulin to bring it back down, and you have a high risk of it going too low. What if I told you the best way to take care of your diabetes wasn't to eat the low-fat grains and carbs and all that junk, but instead of do the opposite? That's right. The best approach to manage diabetes isn't to do all that low-fat nonsense, but instead is to embrace fat. See, carbs are what raise your blood sugar the most, second being protein, and third being fat. Why would you want to avoid fat when it raises your blood sugar the least? And it's actually a very good energy source. So if you want to manage your blood sugar, it's actually fairly easy. Just avoid the foods that spike your blood sugar. Instead, eat foods that don't spike it as much. What does that mean? That means cutting out the bread, the potatoes, the sweets, the desserts, the cookies, all of that. And yes, even fruit. I know I'm wearing pineapples right now, but pineapples are off the menu too. Instead, you should eat stuff that doesn't have all those carbohydrates, namely meat, and that includes all animal products, fish, chicken, eggs, bacon, and of course, steak. And also you can add in some low-carb vegetables in there, like spinach, artichokes, cauliflower, cabbage. Following an approach like that and eating food like that, cutting out the other stuff, the breads, the potatoes, all that junk, will be the first step in getting your blood sugar in control. Because if you're not eating that food, your blood sugar is not spiking that high, and if your blood sugar is not spiking that high, you don't need as much insulin. Instead of your blood sugar going like this with every meal and down with every shot, you can have it just go up a little bit and then go down a little bit. And if you really get under control, which you can, you might see no spike at all. But it's really only possible through a low-carb approach. So again, you want to avoid the bread, no potatoes, no fruit, no sweets, and definitely avoid vegetable oil, even though that's a fat, it's a very bad one. Instead, embrace meat. Eat lots of steak and eggs and pork and chicken and fish. And add in some low-carb veggies too. Make yourself a salad, have some cauliflower. Just avoid those carbs. A good rule of thumb I have is basically anything that's more than a few carbs per serving, let's say 10 carbs per serving, is too much. And that includes basically everything I was talking about on the no list. So again, don't eat bread, don't eat potatoes, eat meat, eat veggies. Simple as that. There's more to it when it comes to type 1 diabetes, since our disease is very manual. But keep watching and I'll guide you through it. If you're looking for a more comprehensive guide on what foods to eat and what not, then check the link below. It's going to have a whole food list of what is recommended for a low-carb approach and what's not. Now, it's not completely comprehensive. There's some extra stuff out there too, but it really does a good job of showcasing most of the food you can have and most of the food you shouldn't have. So check out the link below. And be sure to like the channel, be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and help the world know how we tame type 1.